Hi everyone, and welcome back to Second Rank Fire. As always, I'm your host Ben, and Dave, you're here.
Oh, it's like saying you're shocked that I am here still. But good evening
Every
all.
single
How's it
week.
going?
I'm going to keep doing that every single week until you don't turn up. And Em, welcome to the show, Em. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me. I do appreciate it. I'm good. I'm not too bad.
So it's Em, also known as EldarExarch Em, or one half of the Sisters of Eldar, the legendary duo that you are.
Thank you. That's very kind. You made me sound like Daenerys Targaryen then, with a million
with all the different titles you've got. Yeah. I should have come up with more beforehand. Whenever we've got a guest on, we kick off with, what's your sort of background in the hobby? We'll go from there first.
Yeah. So I got back into the hobby about 2 years ago now. So January 2024 was when I got back in. But prior to that, between the ages of 13 and 17, I also played, which I won't tell you the years because that'll give away how old I am, and I'm very old.
Yeah, no rascal lady, but yeah.
Yeah, so I got into it originally because my brother played and I had a operation on my spine that went wrong, basically. Ended up in a wheelchair, and one of the few things I could do was play Warhammer, because I could sit in my wheelchair, paint, play, and that's how I got into it. And I really got into it when I was a teenager, and then got back into it last year and never looked back since. So yes, that's how I got into it.
So you were quite competitive back in the day, right?
Yes, for my sins, I was very, very competitive back in the day. Not so anymore. The circuit has changed a lot, and for the better, I would say, since I played the first time around. But yeah, I used to go to all the national tournaments and play pretty aggressively, I would say, and that's not my style anymore, because A, 10th edition is completely different. B, the faction I play is very competitive, but it isn't the meta at the moment.
Yeah.
And still, I just get more joy out of playing narrative and things like that these days. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Would you say, see, with the, I'm diving right down into a tangent straight away. Sorry, Dave. Would you say that you are more into the hobby now that you've started off all your Instagram stuff, compared to back then? So now or then, do you think you're more into it?
I think it's two sides of the same coin, almost, because as a teenager, I would be at my local games workshop 3 times a week. So they used to do 2 evenings and a Sunday where you could play. And I had a really good group of friends there. In fact, my brother and dad are still very, very good friends with them. Like, we're all going to the UK Grand Narrative together in September. So for me, that's like a proper trip down memory lane. There's like 14 of us going as well, and it's literally just all of my childhood friends and like the dads of the friends who are going as well. So it's just really funny. It's sort of like the dads group and the kids group, but we're all adults with mortgages now. And then like this time around, the Instagram has given me a different community. So obviously very, very privileged and lucky to have a physical community through Cryptic Cabin at Bracknell, which is where I play. They're amazing, they're incredible. But I've been able to make friends in Canada and the USA and Germany and Poland and France and Spain and all these places around the world, and which I'd never had that before. And to learn so much from these incredible painters and players abroad. And there's also a lot more connect to women these days as well. Like, I was always the only woman out of my games workshop, and now like the majority of my hobby friends that I'm not local to but online, I would say, are women, which is really lovely to see. So yeah,
we'll dive into that more later, because there's loads of questions. Let's go. Sorry, I definitely went off on a massive tangent there. Sorry. No. Dave, what have you been doing for the past 2 weeks?
Right, trust.
Sorry, this is what I do. I'm the worst.
He gets really excited.
Listen to you guys, so I'm used to it. So
But you'll start to realise it is me. Dave lets me go off on so many tangents.
I was like, I'm the parent, and he's the child let her from the candy store. He's getting really excited.
Yeah, I do get really excited at my guests. Yeah.
But so what have I not been up to? That's the question. So I pretty much finished all my stealth suit teams now, with the stealth camo transition all done on the last 3, and the snow bases are done with the teleport homers. And if you've been living in the dark cave, I've bought a Tau Supremacy suit, and I'm in the process of getting it done. I've just still got 2 gun arms to wash orange, then dry brush orange. Said the right colour this time. In the meet-up, I said yellow all the time.
Yellow.
So I'm on a win-win. Bit of an opposite contrast. I managed to convert my far sight as well, which I've also posted on my Instagram account, which is quite cool. I'm just waiting for my 6mm/8mm scale of a Tau stealth suit to come through the post, which I've got some cool shenanigans to do with a small, tiny little drone, which is going to be added into the Farsight conversion, which I think would be like a nice, unique touch for a Farsight model. Also done a Tau Commander with his bits and bobs, and I've also done the first unit of battle suits because I'm in preparation of getting stuff ready for the Rally Mines, which I was very fortunate to be participating in. There's still tickets out there for people to support that can come along, get a t-shirt and all that jazz. It'd be awesome to see you guys there to support an awesome event.
Put a link in the description again, like I did on the last one.
Yeah. I mentioned to Simon as well. I'm going to give a shout out in the run up to the event to keep the donations coming in. Apart from that, I think that's me wrapped up in a nutshell. So beat that, Ben.
I don't think I can. Can we just address something? What do you think the record is for painting a supremacy suit in the shortest period of time? Because I think you might be getting there for it.
Person I may have to ask is it's a guy in our Discord chat. I think. God forbid he's going to kill me if I forget his name. I think it's Pete, maybe. No, is it Pete? I can't remember. I know one of our guys in the community chat's got a supremacy suit, so I'm going to message him. I'll do some reconnaissance and see how quickly he did his without an airbrush, because I'm doing this without no airbrush. I'm crazy as it sounds, I am doing slap chop on a big, expensive model, which is going to be
ridiculously
quite cool.
Big model, not just a big. So I used to paint Chaos Knights. They're big models. You've got a ridiculously big model. This is silly big.
Absolutely, and I'll be interested to see if I can kill some knights at the event, because this is a big grand narrative campaign, which I'm very jealous of getting tickets for that event, because I was literally trying to get tickets for the Imperial, and it sold out in seconds. I was like, oh. It's like my balloon deflated.
It's insane. Like they went in the space of like 2 minutes or something like that, and it's 150 tickets or something. So,
it's absolutely insane,
crazy.
But no, I'll be keeping a hawk's eye on that on Instagram and stuff, because that was just quite cool. And who doesn't love a narrative campaign where you just play big toys and have fun and meet cool new people, old friends? You know, it's what we all do this hobby for. Yeah, exactly. What more do we want? But yeah, apart from that is me. Did you want me to? Well, I think you all know what I'll be doing for the next 2 weeks again. But I may add a bonus in for. I may see if I can build my other battle suits, which I may have to go on Etsy for more missile pods, because they don't give you enough, which is really infuriating.
Oh, no, they don't.
So Etsy's my best friend for stuff like this, so I can just get 3D printed stuff from third parties, which it looks exactly like missile pods. Because I've gone against the meta and just gone with what looks cool. It's all about coolness. But
cool is always the best, though.
100%.
Absolutely. It's like I don't care if it's like, well, technically it's just not meta. Well, technically it's not your run. So even though people think I'm probably taking the meta because I've got Tau Supremacy suit, but when you see the rest of my army, it's completely dog poo incensed to that. It's like, because if you can kill a 30 wound model, that's pretty much 1,000 points I've lost. So good game. See you later. But no, so bit of Tau Supremacy suit, get a bit more done on that, because I've got a nice cushion now. Because if I can get the orange all done, dry brush in those 2 weeks and pick out a little bit of details, brilliant. Because I got to the end of October for my doubles tournament in Warhammer World, which is going to be epic, because I love a doubles. And I'm sure M knows when tickets go on sale for Warhammer World, they sell out. Those doubles tickets sold out in 10 seconds. It's ridiculous. I was almost panicking because it kicked me back to the start, but I completed my purchase, so it was all good. But no, so that'll be me done, and for the next 2 weeks it's Tau, by the sounds of it. So on to you, Ben.
I feel like I'm squeezed between Xenos here. This is awful now. Dave used to be Imperium, and now I'm just
Xenos
surrounded
United
by Xenos scum.
Finally. We're normally overrun, so.
It's terrible. So, yeah, I mean, saying that I have been doing Xenos type stuff, but not in 40k. I've been doing my Mega Boss on Maw Crusher. That's been my big one. So I did a bit of the armor on the Mega Boss. I've not really touched the Maw Crusher. I'm on the boring bit of the Maw Crusher now, where I've got to go and paint some more scales, and I just can't be bothered. There's I counted, and I can't remember how many it was. There's a couple of 100 scales on the Maw Crusher, and I'm painting them one by one. And I don't know why. I don't know why I did it the way that I did it, but I'm doing that. Most of them are done now, so it's not too bad. It's just the arms. I got loads more done on the Sentinel, so I say that I got loads done in comparison to the instructions, which are the worst thing I've ever seen from Games Workshop. And I used to play fantasy, so.
But so if you look back at it, I feel like the old fantasy stuff was a lot easier to follow because there's not that many bits back in those days.
There's so many. There's 14 bits for the right foot up to the knee. 14 parts. Why? So I did the chest. Basically, when I say I did a lot, I did the chest. I did the chest piece. There's bits that go on the inside of it. So I did it on stream. There's bits that go on the inside of it, which is like, if you go on and see on pictures on it, like some of them, it looks like they've got like fire on the inside. It looks like a burning centre. There is a bit inside for you to paint to do that. You're never going to see it. Like mine's going to get primed black, and I'm never going to touch it. So genuinely, in the legs, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 bits that you're never going to see. In the chest, there's 3 or 4. There's like 9 parts without even touching the arms or the face that you're never ever going to see. And one of them has got like 2 connect points, but it's not like. Do you know when you put a piece on, you know it's in the right place because it just sort of like sits in the right place. That's not like that on the Sentinel. You just have to kind of guess. And if it kind of sits right, it doesn't even like naturally slot in. So that's part of them. Some of them are like, so much of it is interference fit, so it just clashes everywhere. Or like you have to you build something and you have to like feed it through and then twist it to get. What? So you can't just put it in. You need to have done it in the right order, otherwise it won't twist in and sit right. If you've not clipped it right, then you're absolutely screwed. Honestly, it's a beautiful model. I hate building it, and I've bought a second one.
Glutton for punishment.
Honestly, and I've changed it so that I'm having it like. So I've built up a bit of the base now. It's on my Instagram. It's like walking down steps. So not only have I done that, I've changed its pose, and I'm going to be taking the spear and breaking it into 2 swords. And the hands are like built into the spear handles, so I'm going to have to green stuff it and fudge it to make that work as well. I've basically taken one of the worst models to build in Warhammer and just made it a lot harder for myself. And I'm going to do it the same on the second one as well.
I've got no comment. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So that I did that on stream. If you want to go back and go onto my Twitch, it's all recorded onto my Twitch. If you want to see me slowly go insane over 2 hours, just go and work and watch that stream. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I did that. I've done loads of streaming, so I've put a lot of effort into my streaming actually. So I'm now an affiliate, which feels big fancy affiliate. That was like literally this week as we're recording. It was 2 days ago, I think, something like that. I got the email to join the affiliate scheme, so that was pretty good. So yeah, I've been doing stuff that I built 6 Ironjaw Brute Rages, so that's my Xenos. Mega Boss, Sentinel. Does that count as Xenos? Because they're humans, right? They're Cathay. They'd be part of the Imperium, surely. And then yeah, the Brute Rages, my Ironjaws. What else have I done? YouTube stuff. I've been sorting out some videos, so I've not recorded anything yet. Don't get your hopes up, everybody. But I I have prepped, and I think I've got another 3 or 4 videos all prepped for. So when I finally get a slot to like actually record, I'm just gonna like bang out like 5 or 6 videos. I think that's it. I think that's everything. It felt like quite a lot for me because I stream every Sunday and then every other Wednesday. This is Wednesday as we're recording this now. Every other Wednesday I stream as well. So the last week I streamed twice. So like in between recordings I streamed 3 times, which feels like a lot for me. So yeah. Next 2 weeks, I'm just going to carry on with the Iron Jaws. I want to keep pushing forward with them. I want to get at least the Spearhead done. I'd love to get an actual game of AOS under my... at least one game played. I don't know where I was going with that. At least one game played, which would be nice. I built up all those Skaven, painted all the Skaven, and then I've sold them. That's what paid for my second Sentinel. Was basically my Skaven army. Because I've got all the Iron Jaws now, I'm just not that bothered. So I just decided I'm just going to chin them off and trade them in and get some more Space Marines and my Sentinel and the Gate Masters for the Grand Cafe as well. That's like the guy on the horse and with the big banner. So it's a super cool model.
Stunning model.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it, I want to do some recording for YouTube. I say every single recording, but I'm going to say it again. I want to record some stuff for YouTube. I've got to. Like, I have to do it at some point, right?
Well, you've got the foundations ready, haven't you? So you just need to find time to sit down and actually record. Because you know what real life is like.
It's finding the courage, which sounds really strange given that I've recorded. This is episode 16, 17, I can't remember what episode of second rank fire this is. First rank fire, I've got like 37, 38 videos. So I 38 recordings. So I've recorded over 50 episodes of things. I've always done it with somebody else. I've never been on my own. Ever. So now I need to find the courage to be like, I can do this on my own. I'll put on my big boy pants and I'll do it on my own. It's very different.
I know that feeling. It's really hard when you've been part of a duo for so long, and then you've sort of got a singularity of yourself, and you're like, "Oh, this is all on me now. I don't have the crutch of the other person."
Yeah, when you're bad, you're like, "Oh no, I'm just bad, right? I'm completely propped up." I mean, everybody knows that I'm propped up by Dave anyway, but like, this will be the evidence that I'm propped up by Dave. Yeah. So that was my 2 weeks, and my 2 weeks coming. Now you're on. What have you been up to for the past couple of weeks, or what have you got coming up?
What have I done? That's a good question. So you'd think listening, I would have had this answer prepped. But,
I don't prep, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
So, in fairness, the last couple of weeks have been quite ill, so I haven't been able to do much. But my next couple of weeks are looking rather hectic. So I was sort of telling you, Ben, before we were recording, obviously where I'm going to the UK Grant Narrative, my brother has decided he wants to borrow part of my Eldar army because he's got a Xenos ticket as well. So he's going to take my Wraiths. And I was very kindly donated 3 Wraith Knights that were hideously unloved to add to my one that I already had. But by unloved, I mean they were like smashed up in a box, basically. So I've got to rebuild them. They're covered in dust, so I've got to clean them off and then spray them and paint them up. So I've got 3 Wraith Knights to do in the next 2 weeks, basically.
Easy.
Fine.
Who needs sleep, right? Who needs
I know, right? You're not doing it properly if you're not painting the day before your tournament.
Exactly. And in fairness, 99.9% of my army is grey normally because I just don't. I'm not a painter in any way, shape, or form, and never have been. Like I have such awe for you guys being able to do it, but I mentally just can't do it. And then I have to build.
Say that, Dave. We're good at painting, apparently.
It's better than mine by a long stretch. By a long stretch. And then I've got either my Corsairs or my Scorpions to finish because I'm going to be taught Kill Team on Monday. So, my lovely friend Russell is going to teach me because I've wanted to learn for ages. But that does mean building 10 models. I mean, they will be grey, But I mean, Ben, you've watched me on stream try and build things like the hand-eye coordination is not there in any way, shape, or form. So I'll probably lose 90% of the models to my carpet. So
Yeah, standard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my next 2 weeks of fun.
I've got hard floor, so when I clip stuff, you just hear like ding, 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 just as it bounces around my room.
It's like in the opposite corner of the bedroom. It's like, what? How did I get over there?
How? Yeah. No, I mean that's going to be a real fun 2 weeks painting up three Wraith Knights. And...
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Not having a mild mental breakdown over it at all.
What's your loadout you've gone for your Wraith Knights then?
I'm not
Eldar fan. Or not fan, but not Eldar person.
These were obviously gifted, and they're quite old. I think they're the first version of the Wraith Knights, so they're all the combat ones. So they've got the Ghost Waves, and they've currently got shuriken cannons on them, but I'm going to change them for star cannons just because I prefer that on my models, and my brother can just lump it for borrowing them for 3 days. He doesn't get a say in this.
It's a narrative anyway, it's fine.
Exactly. So I'll end up with 3 combat Wraith Knights, and then my one has got the dual Wraith cannons and the dual star cannons on. So, yes.
Nice.
I have to turn around to look at them then to remember. So you just got the side of my face then, both of you. But, yeah.
You're fine.
But they should look really good when the 4 of them are together. But it's just getting the motivation up to get them done.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be fine. It's mostly all armour, aren't they? Apart from...
Yeah, they're mostly armour panels and then just massive guns and swords. So
yeah, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, just chuck some dry brush on it and pray that it looks all right. So, yeah.
It'd be fine. Speaking of Eldar, what did you think of the Warhammer Plus miniature of the Wraith Seer?
Like it. Yeah,
really stunning.
See, there was a mixed bag in my competitive group chat, because some of them, obviously, if you know Eldar lore, then that makes complete sense, like the Spirit Seer taking out the Spirit Stone and things like that. But some of them didn't like the way that they'd posed the Wraith Lord under the Spirit Seer. They felt it was too like concave with the way it was posed, but I really liked the central pose with it sort of coming round, almost encapsulating it. So yeah, there was a bit of not contention in the group chat, but there was a bit of debate around it. So, but I really like it, and it's nice that they've lent into that aspect of the lore as well. Like, Eldar lore is so rich, and I think a lot of people don't realise it because it's essentially like the Imperium collapsed into one faction. So they are like I don't know if you guys read the Codex for Eldar, the 10th edition Codex, but that's just full of stories and lore and gives you even more insight into the craft worlds and things like that. Cool. So it's almost like an actual storybook as well as being a codex, you know, which is what I love.
That's absolutely. It's all about the stories. That's what I say.
Yeah. Indeed.
That feels like what Codex is kind of going to become. Obviously, with the Warhammer, we all use apps. Let's be honest. None of us really uses a Codex anymore. We use cards, we use apps, things like that. So it does feel like the Codex is sort of leaning a lot more towards that now, which I love. I think it's great.
Yeah. When I played the first time round in 4th edition, that's what the Codexes were as well. They had a lot of narrative in them because the Black Library was around, but it didn't lean so much into like wider faction things. It always concentrated on one character, so you always learn your faction lore through your Codex stories and things like that. So it is really nice to see.
It's interesting to see the transition stage from I started in 3rd edition, where if you want any new info, you'll get the new Codex, and hopefully sort of the stories will slightly evolve, but not as much back in the past until what they are now, which is insane how far they jump with the lore, especially with the Votan, which I've been looking up on and stuff like that. Their lore is insane. How quickly they've gone from half a codex, I'll say, to what they've revealed now, and start with the Eldar, because there's so many avenues you can delve into now. It's like your world, like universe is your oyster now, isn't it? So you can have like Dark Eldar, like you can go conversion heavy with your Eldar stuff now, because you can go like a pirate style theme, which is awesome.
Yeah, the Corsairs, Exodites. I would love to do a proper Corsairs army where they're all on the Drakari ships, like proper pirates, and then Exodites on their lizards and stuff like that. I've seen so many good 3D prints.
I'd love to make one.
Yeah, I would.
Well, you kind of got the I'm going to say Lizardmen because I can't remember their name from AOS. Because I've seen loads of people use them. There's whatever the Saurus Warriors are and stuff like that. But they've got loads of like the ride-on dinosaur. I'm going to keep calling them Lizardmen because that's what they are. Let's be honest. They've got loads of the ride-on dinosaurs. So I've seen quite a few people adapt like some of the smaller raptors and then put shuriken cannons on them and turn them into like their jet bike equivalents. And, I'd love to have a go at it. I think they're incredible.
Yeah, and to get hold of the like really, really big ones and essentially stack loads of models on the back. So it almost it reminds me of the Flintstones, where they had the really big dinosaur that they used as a bus. That's what I want to mock a wave serpent up as for an Exodites army. So.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Flintstones themed Exodite army.
That's it. The wheels are turning. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I got mine from The Infinite and Divine. If you've read that one, the Necron book about Orokin, where he sort of goes into that slight spoilers, where he goes into that world and the fact that it's like the Farseer on the like the T-Rex equivalent. I think that's incredible. I would love to make that model. Need to find myself a T-Rex. But then I'd have to buy Eldar, and I just can't. I used to have Eldar. In fact, in this cupboard, I've got some Harlequins stashed away right up at the top. Never again. I can't wrap my head around them.
No.
What do you mean? Like how they play, or is it how?
It's a bit of everything, really. Like the models. This is sacrilegious, if you should close your ears. I'm not a massive fan of the models too much. I think they're all a little bit too spindly and leggy. I'm a Space Marine player. I've got like
heresy.
I've got like 8,000 points of Space Marines, like big blocky power armor. To be fair, my fancy days, I played Orcs in AOS. I picked up Iron Jaws. My thing is big chunky infantry models and stuff like that. So yeah, the Eldar was like a massive step away from that. Was going to like the big spindly thin things. I've always sucked at the psychic phase. I could never work out what to do in the right order and make, because like when I think I played Eldar in 8th, and this was when they had the Warlock plane, right? I can't remember what it's called.
It's like the Infinity Circuit aspect that they have, that they then call upon all the old spirits and stuff like that.
It was because they have a plane that could do powers back then, and so you could basically make it unhittable. But then it had flamers, which were like wounded everything on the back for silly, because it was like super high strength. And then you had like +1 wit or something. There was like some power that you could put on it and stuff like that. And you had to like do it all in the right order and not bring it out too early, because otherwise it just gets smashed out, because everyone would be like, "Need to shoot that off." Basically, I just couldn't wrap my head around the psychic phase, and I was just like, "This is blow." I couldn't play Thousand Suns because they do the same thing to me. I'm a space. I need to shoot things with a bolt gun. That's how it works in my brain.
Shoot it from afar, so it doesn't get close.
Yeah, pick up a bolt rifle and shoot it from as far away as I can, and that's about as good as my brain works. Or go to AOS.
An army called Cow? Where you sit on one side of the board and shoot everyone.
This is going to surprise you, because I've owned every army. I've once upon a time I owned Tau. Not many, but I owned some Tau. I hated painting them. I could not stand it.
In what way? Is it the infantry guys, or is it the suit?
Yeah, I had loads of the infantry guys, so I was doing like a foot slugger, loads of guns. It was like they're tiny little models, and this was before I'd learned how to dry brush or anything like that. So I was trying to paint everything properly, and they've got all those like silly little like armor lines and stuff like that you need to get the right liners for. This was before I could paint properly, so I didn't even understand like how those like oil things worked, where it just like you put it near and it like zips through it. I hated painting them. I couldn't stand them. Maybe that changed now, but I'm a Space Marine through and through now, unfortunately. I've got my custom chapter, which is spray it gold and hope for the best, so... Yeah. Because I'm a good painter, that's what I'm said, right? Colour Forge means that I'm a good painter.
Yeah,
Title
you're
of the
both good
episode.
painters.
I'm a good painter.
Oh, I dream of being a good painter, yeah.
I think in our world, though, it does get distorted because we see Golden Demon winners on Instagram every single day and people who paint professionally. And actually, when you go down to your local hobby store and you just want to have a game, 90% of people have slap chopped it. So even if you've put an edge highlight on or put a proper wash on it, that's much better, I guess, for want of a better adjective, than what they've done. And actually, it shouldn't be this yardstick that we try and compare one another to on social media.
Yeah,
so
100%.
me saying you guys are good painters, like, you've got really good techniques in comparison to me, and you put a hell of a lot of effort into your models, and you guys should be proud of that.
Dave puts so much effort into his.
Yeah.
I literally use a rattle can. The amount of slap shot that it must have taken to do that supremacy armor without, because this is the really fun thing about the way that the slap shot works, is the fact that mine always looks super streaky when I start to do it that big, whereas that supremacy armor, it doesn't. I'm amazed by how lack of streaky that is.
Don't ask how. Just wing it.
Voodoo. Just hope. Just pray. Get your driver shower. Just chant to the emperor.
Tongue out. I'm done. Yeah. But no, I can't really explain how. I just luck. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I tend to zone out when I paint. That's the way that I do it. I don't pay attention to it. Oh well, right.
That's not really
enough
a good
tangents.
thing. But yeah,
no,
anyway.
it's the perfect way of doing it. It's the perfect way of doing it. It's fine, Dave. It works for me. I'm not going to break it because I've just got a spray can. That's all I need. Let's talk about you. Let's talk all about you.
God.
So. No, well, it's fine, right? So we've got some.
I was enjoying chatting. Let's just keep doing that.
This is going to get better. This is good for us. This is why we bring guests onto the podcast, because it means that me and Dave don't have to talk. We just get you to talking.
You like to think that, but this person here likes to chat a lot. So when we get a guest on,
I ask lots of questions. It's not my fault. I get really excited to ask questions. It's not my fault. Shall I go for the first one, Dave? Yeah, okay. So, this is a question. So, we've got a few questions from Dark Mage, who joins me on Twitch, but he's also on Discord. So, I quite like this one. So, what are your thoughts on the growing influence that Warhammer has in online communities? And do you think that's influence, like, has Instagram and content creators changed the way that you hobby now compared to how you did before? Two-part question.
Yeah, I think that is a really good question, actually, because I can definitely see a change in the way that I hobbied pre-Instagram and post, for want of a better term. So, like, the reason that Lucy and I set up Sisters of Eldar originally was to show our friends and family what we were doing, because we knew, like, a lot of our friends had hobby accounts and things like that. So, it was just, like, meant to be a bit of a mess around. And then we did a few reels and it got a bit more attention and things like that. So I wouldn't say that my hobby is content driven, but everything is content at the same time, if that makes sense. So I now find myself thinking, when I'm doing things, like, oh, I should probably just whip the camera out and film this. So, like, when I went to the Kent Major a couple of weeks ago, so I asked for consent at the start. And I was like, are you guys happy for me to film your armies at various points during the tournament? Because, like, people enjoy sort of the gameplay aspects of it on Instagram as well as the painting. And that's definitely the way that I lean. So it's more, I wouldn't say that it's changed the way that a hobby per se, but it's more like a conscious thought that actually just get the camera out a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
But as I was saying earlier, it's grown me a huge friendship network with people all around the world that I wouldn't have had access to before. But at the same time, it's also remembering that life isn't just in my little square box that's in front of me,
Yeah.
and to occasionally look up and do things and remember I'm married and have to talk to my husband occasionally and not just the people online. So yes.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's got to the point now where my wife, who she's definitely not a Warhammer person, will send me reels and things like that from her Instagram where it's just like slowly bleeding into hers.
Yeah,
So she got
I know
one
that
the other day from B. Of her, do you see her dreadnoughts? She did like a reel of all of her girly pop dreadnoughts. My wife sent me that, and I was like, I have definitely seen this, but the fact that you're seeing it is saying something, because it's bleeding into her world now.
So my brother, actually, this is a really funny story. I love B. And my brother sent me that, but on my personal Instagram, because my brother, even though he plays Warhammer, doesn't follow my Warhammer accounts.
What?
And he was like, yeah, I know. I was not taking it personally. And my content is clearly not his sort of content. And he sent me B's reel and he was like, oh, do you know this woman? Like, she makes really nice stuff. I literally sent B a screenshot of our conversation. I was like, my brother really likes your stuff. She was like, oh, that's so nice. So yeah, I know the exact reel that you're talking about, where it's like the pink dreadnought and the black dreadnought, because I think like that's gone out to loads of people, and it's great that she's getting that sort of reach and that sort of attention with, I'm going to air quote this, non-traditional painting styles. You know, it's not a heavy metal style, it's a style that she enjoys, and clearly thousands and thousands of other people also enjoy that style. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was super funny. Yeah, so do you think that, obviously you've come in and like your accounts blew up, like the Sisters of Eldar account absolutely blew up, like the level of positivity that came with that, and I imagine there's a hell of a lot of negativity that came with it as well, but the amount of positivity that came with that, do you think that Warhammer is starting to sort of push forward and be a driver in the let's call it a nerdy community? Do you think it's more of a beacon in the nerdy community, or it's got way more to even get close to that?
I think so. Warhammer's definitely got a lot more accessible, I'd say, and I'd say that the pandemic was a big driver for that. So I came back to it after the pandemic, but the amount of women and people from minority backgrounds that I know that got into it through COVID, there were a lot of bad things about COVID, but that was a good thing, that it's increased the diversity in our hobby, essentially. I think, like, just touching on some of the things that you said, Ben, like, there was a lot of positivity with Sisters of Eldar, but it was really overwhelming for both of us. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush with it. The account blew up into something that we weren't expecting it to, because like there must have been a niche for what we were doing, which is lovely, but at the same time we didn't come into it with the intention of there being this niche, you know. And we would get DMs from other women who were struggling with some of the negativity that they were getting from various people in the hobby. And this is something that I always point out, is the fact that it's a hobby at the end of the day. It's not life or death. And a lot of people get dopamine from being horrible on the internet, and you just don't need to be. And like, I sat back for quite a long time and I was like, do I actually call this out? And that's why I've done like some of the stupid reels that I've done where I've called people out, or done I did a series where it was like people's expectations of women in Warhammer, and I like really started myself up for it with the hair and makeup and everything, and was like reading the rule book upside down and asking where the Space Marines were and where the female Space Marines were, and if they were in the kitchen of the drop pod and stuff like that, you know, just leaning into those stereotypes just to take the sting out of it when other people would make comments about it. Because once you take that power away, then, you know, it's not there anymore. And I'm really lucky that I'm friends with other female influencers, and some of the stuff that they get sent is absolutely appalling, you know. And you sit back and you're like, these people have mothers and sisters and female friends and wives, and they feel it's okay to go and shame a woman on the internet who's talking about her hobby at the end of the day. So yeah, but at the same time, I'd say that 99.9% of the people that I've interacted with in the last, because Sisters of Eldars just turned a year old, like they're great people. Like the community, inversely, the majority of it is incredibly welcoming. It's just the few that outweigh the many, you know.
Yeah, it's that minority, isn't it? It's that idea of a vocal minority. It's just horrendous. I'll name drop Alex because I think she's a prime example of it. Some of the reels that Alex does, where she puts some of it's like her YouTube comments and stuff like that. I just can't wrap my head around why people would say it. Like, I just put it just anywhere. Never mind the internet. I just don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost just this projection of their own self-hatred that they decide to put on someone else, you know. And I'm fascinated by psychology because I'm so autistic that I don't understand 90% of it. But you know,
I don't think some of that's understandable though. That's almost the problem with it, isn't it? It's like I think as a rational person, the idea, the fact that inclusivity should just be the norm, right? You shouldn't need to have to highlight the fact that inclusivity should be a thing, and then you get this vocal minority. And again, as a rational person, you kind of sit there and go, well, like, I want to understand why you're saying it, so that I can then challenge it in a way that would get through to them. There's times where I've sat there and seen some of the stuff that you've posted, Alex or whoever, and I'm kind of like, I just don't understand any rationale whatsoever. There's no way you're ever going to get through to these people because there is no rationale there.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen some DMs from that women have received where like violence has been threatened against them, and that's way too far.
Wow,
that's crazy. Way too far. I had to think about what I was saying then, and that's the step where you go, okay, this fun account is not fun anymore, you know. But as I said, that's few and far between, thank God. And most of the time it doesn't deter us. So
that's the thing. There are some amazing influencers out there, yourself and Lucy included, who are sort of willing to stand there and sort of take the abuse face on, and obviously you do, and the fact that you carry on going, it does concern me how many people must start up and take that abuse and then just drop out of the hobby because, like you say, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the pain. But can you imagine like how many incredible people there just aren't in the hobby because of that? Like it blows my mind.
And it's not just women and minorities that get it. Men can be just as vicious towards other men as well. Like I know a lot of male influencers or content creators do struggle because certain men in the hobby pick them out and are constantly commenting on their things, and it does just drive them down. So everyone in the hobby gets affected by trolls and trolling, you know. It's not a singularity to one sector. One sector might just get it ever so slightly more, but it's not singular. But as I said, thankfully, it's few and far between. So,
absolutely. And I feel like the community is more united with with the women and Warhammer and stuff like that. And it's funny how we all close nets when negative things is like, really? It's like, if you don't like it, leave. End of. You know? It's just like they feel a lot more. Go.
Sorry, I was just thinking of a prime example from literally yesterday. So obviously they announced the name character from a ethnic minority background.
Yep.
And some of the comments on there were just insane on people being happy because it's the first time in 41 years that there's a name character, and they were like, oh, but what about this faction? But they're not actually that.
That whole thing was just insane, just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely insane. But it was good the amount of people that stood up and were commenting back to those people who aren't necessarily from larger accounts, just going, no, that's not okay. So that's really positive to see that. So sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's just
that's right.
It like sprung into my head straight away. That's just as you were saying that.
That's it. It's fine. But no, it's always lovely to see when people, even though we don't know each other personally, and how this hobby is such a universal language. We all can because it's like what you said, our paintings are awesome or whatever, but it doesn't matter because we're all enjoying this hobby together, for one thing or the other. It's like you say, you should build your models, grey plastic. That's fine, that's cool. It's like the beauty, the detail, or the beauty in the hobby, it's down to you. So if you want to play with grey plastic, great. But I've seen some people comments like, well, it's great, you're playing with grey army. It's like, so it's my hobby, because I don't understand how people, because I feel like they get courage behind their keyboards. Like, no one can't hurt me or whatever. I've had it in the past with a few people that send me abusive messages, or tell me to unfollow someone or whatever. I was like, no, it's like, it's a community. We're all here to support each other, regardless if you're a male or woman or whatever you want to identify as. We're all in one community at the end of the day. And as we all said, it's just like one bad apple in a bunch that somehow always gets the spotlight, which is really wrong. It should be the good people that get the spotlight more, but it never happens like that. But exactly. Yeah, that's just my tangent. I'm going to ask a question now before Ben jumps on his happy bandwagon. So I follow when you did the Women at Warhammer World. So how did that come about, and how did you? Because that just escalated so quickly.
Much.
And I couldn't keep up. I was like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden, it's like, I've got in the canteen photos, in a month or something like that.
Yeah, it was insane. So Lucy and I wanted to go up to Warhammer World, and we thought it'd be fun if we invited some of our female hobby friends with us. And then it turned into a bit like, oh, well, if there's a couple of us going, why don't we cast the net slightly wider? So I literally put a post up and said, does anyone else want to come to Warhammer World with us? And quite a few comments later and quite a lot of DMs later, it suddenly became, there are a lot of people that want to go to Warhammer World with us. And then I booked the tables. So I booked them literally 12:01, the 3 months beforehand. Because, for booking tables at Warhammer World, you have a 3-month gap beforehand. So literally 12:01, I sent the email off because I was like, I really want all these women to come. And then it suddenly became bigger and bigger once we said, oh, we're going on this date. And more people were like, oh, my girlfriend wants to come. Is that okay? And literally 3 or 4 hours before the event was meant to start, we had people messaging going, oh, we're coming to Warhammer World today. Can we pop in? We had dads bring their daughters and women who play competitively come, but we also had women who have sort of got into the hobby through painting or playing with their husbands. We had people bring their friends along. We ended up with about 40 women. We counted up that we had 60 people in the end, 40 women, 17 men and 3 little girls. So that was really nice. It completely spiraled and snowballed and it became really anxiety inducing. But I wanted everyone to have a nice time. So I made up little packs for everyone. So everyone got a dice, a badge, a sticker, and a little model as well. Because some of the women, where they've been doing stuff with their husbands, they were painting their husbands' armies but didn't have their own models. I bought little plushies for the little girls that came. And wrote a whole narrative for the gameplay. It just became this huge thing, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell have I done? What have I signed myself up for?
It's beautiful to see, because it's nice to see that commitment, people come together from all walks of life. It's like, as you said, you was getting random people asking you that you've never met before, and now you've made connections and hopefully stayed in contact with them and stuff, and see their progress into the hobby. Especially the little girls and stuff that are getting in, they probably see their dad do it or whatever, and they want to see other women on the scene. It's like, look, women do play this hobby, because it's still quite a stereotypical seeing that it's blokes only scene because women are not on the forefront, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because my missus just started getting into it by painting and stuff like that. And my girls are on the fence at the moment. Well, one dropped out because she realised they don't come pre-built, and she doesn't like that stuff, so she's dropped off. And the other one's a bit 50-50 at the moment, but it's the thoughts there. But no, it's lovely to see, and how you made everyone feel special in their own way. It's lovely to see. So, will you think you'll be doing another one, or is that too much anxiety kicking in like that? I'm done.
So there is one booked in, and actually, I'll actually announce the date here if you guys are happy.
Yeah. This is your show.
It's on Saturday, 21st of February, 2026. So the Warhammer events team have got involved with it now.
That's lovely.
Nice.
And we've got 80 spaces.
Wow.
It will still be open to people who want to wander up on the day, but for hobbying and playing, we've got 80 formal spaces, but I will always make room for whomever comes. We can double up and cozy up and things like that. So I have dipped my toe back in, given myself mild anxiety. That's an understatement. Hyperventilated into a paper bag and decided to go for it again. So
that's good. I'm glad to hear it, because I think it's a massive hit that the community needs to have. So don't get me wrong, we all love competitive because that's why we play it, right? It's like we always like to win and stuff, but it's always so nice to pump that little break a little bit and enjoy the moment, like the narratives does, like the grand narrative campaign that you're going to and stuff like that. You can just pump the brake and just enjoy the storytelling. Because last time I went to a narrative one, it was like, Jesus, 2017 is the last one I went, or something like that. That's like, makes me feel ancient. But no, it was just where they did it, and it was awesome. And I hope GW do more of these narrative campaigns, because I feel like they need more of it, because it's quite a big scene on it. Hopefully it shows how quickly the tickets sold, because there is a scene for it.
Yeah, last year when I went, I was a stand-in because someone dropped out. So it was my dad and brother went with the same group, and I was a stand-in. And the amount of people in cosplay and things like that, and the UK Grand Narrative is played at the same time as the US Grand Narrative, and the outcome of the games, the outcome of the games in the UK affect the US and vice versa. So last year, Xenos so it's split into three, as Dave will know. So Imperium, Chaos, and Xenos. So Xenos were in the lead in terms of victory points, both in the US and UK. And we were following what our commanders told us, that each faction had a separate commander who was trying to achieve a certain goal. In the UK, we decided we didn't like our leader anymore. So we deposed him on the second day, tried to bring in a new leader who was just some random guy that was playing, stopped listening to the instructions, and the US guys were not happy with us in any way, shape or form. And the best part is that Games Workshop had set up Discords because you were put into teams, essentially. So you were put into teams of 5, and it was randomized. So like the only person I was in with was with my brother, actually, which worked out quite well. So your ticket numbers were all mixed up and stuff. So you weren't actually with people that you knew per se. Mine was just a one-off. The Discord comments about the UK Xenos players from the US Xenos players, they were not happy with us. And then Warhammer Community were doing live blog posts about it at the time. So you can actually go onto Warhammer Community and look at the UK Grand Narrative from last year. They do this little section about how we deposed our leader and had enough and basically screwed over the US. So
that's brilliant. That's what you want to hear, like those moments that live on forever. You go, remember that time like 5 years ago we did this, and everyone goes, oh yeah, that's what it's all about. It's writing those memories that will last a lifetime. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. Go on, Ben. You're itching to go.
I'm not. I've been loving it because I've never been to an event. I'd love to because I really enjoy narrative play. I've never been to one of the events. I'd love to go at some point. Of course, I wouldn't be Xenos because why would anybody be Xenos, right?
That's what the cool kids are at.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't be jealous just because you want to be the cookie cutter of 10,000 other people that are exactly the same as you. So
I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. I've got my iron jaws. That's where I can be a little bit more kooky. Big boys.
They're lovely
big boys.
Models, though. Yeah, they're really nice models.
Don't take me down that tangent because that tangent will go on forever. I love boys on boars. Boys on boars. Boys on boars are the best thing in the world. Like, the idea of taking a really big burly orc and putting it on a really big burly boar is incredible. And they've got the what's it called? The tusk. It's like the tusk boss on something. That's a really big boar, and you can get like 6 boys on it, and that's even better, right? So like, oh, it's incredible. Anyway,
we're going back to the Flintstones bust again.
Yeah, but with orcs and boars, like Someone completely off tangent. I saw maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Somebody had taken that model, and they'd got like fake fur, and they'd put the fake fur on it, so it looked like a real boar. And then they got like cool. Real bits of leather, and so where like any of the cords were, they'd like made real bits of leather, and so the boar looked like real basically. And then they'd done like the orc on top of it. It was incredible. I wouldn't have wanted to touch it because it looked absolutely disgusting to touch. It probably would have felt horrible. Like massive sensory overload, just like spiky bits of hair and leather everywhere. It was grim, but it looked incredible. Right, off that tangent. Next question. I'm going to go back to a sort of subject we talked a while ago, but I'd love to get your sort of thoughts on it, given that you sort of say that you've been ill and stuff like that. But say you've had like a hobby burnout, or you've had a period where you've not been able to hobby. How do you find you're able to pull yourself back into the hobby and get that drive for it again?
So rather than doing something that I need to do because I don't enjoy it, then I do something that I want to do. So rescuing my adopted Wraith Knights brings me joy, and I'm just ignoring my brother yapping on in my ear about the fact that he wants to use them. But as well, I'm currently painting up a Blood Bolt army in the style of it's a dwarves army. But as Ben will know, and most people that follow me, I'm more than mildly obsessed with Dr. Pepper. So I'm painting them up as the different flavours of Dr. Pepper that you can get, and they're called the Dwarven Peppers. So when I've had a bit of hobby burnout, that is what I like to do, you know, just do something that's completely ridiculous and for yourself. And like my friends that are professional painters, like Jamie, for example, Jamie Daggers, she says that she never gets any time to do what she wants to do because she's always painting commissions. But she recently painted some Corsairs and built them and loved them, and that really brought her hobby passion back, you know. So I think it is really important to find something that you don't need to do but you would quite like to do, and just take it really slow. So that's kind of how I get back into it. And then on the like content creation side, that's a completely different kettle of fish, I find. And I don't follow the trends, I just kind of do what I like to do. And so like this big series that I've done for September, I've basically like looked at 30 female characters across the Warhammer verse, and I talk about their lore and if they've got models and stuff like that. That's burnt me out doing that, I'm not going to lie. That's a lot of content to try and produce. So actually I'm looking at the things that I'm going to enjoy. So I'm going to film a bit of me messing about with these Wraith Knights, and you know, I might put the Paul O'Grady theme music over the top because I've adopted the Wraith Knights, and you know, like what's the series you used to present? Is it all about dogs or something like that? You know, where they adopt the dogs and rehabilitate these poor little. That's it. Yeah. So, but that will sort of get my spark back a little bit, and all my prep for the UK Grand Narrative, because spoiler alert, I'm going to try and cosplay because everyone else going cosplays.
Yes,
So
yes, you are.
I've got to build my cosplay, which is going to be a Howling Banshee. And I think it's mostly just going to be reels of me swearing as I try and build a cosplay for the first time. Because have you seen how many armor panels there are on bloody Howling Banshees?
It's crazy,
Jesus
isn't it?
Christ.
I can see a lot of hot glue burns coming.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. And the red wig as well. I've got to find myself a half decent red wig and thankfully my friend Sam does all of my 3D printing, so he's going to 3D print me the Triskel and the Executioner. But
nice. Yeah.
And try and make them not look like actual weapons, otherwise I won't get let into Warhammer World. So yeah. So I'm going to try and do that. But that sort of content where I just mess around, that is what I enjoy doing. So whilst I'm a bit burnt out at the moment, doing that will be fabulous. So.
Nice.
And you've got 30 days of content done, right? So.
Well, providing Instagram hasn't completely kicked me out, because whilst we were waiting for you, Dave, I was telling Ben, Instagram's just shadow banned me because I uploaded 20 reels in one hit. So, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So as this one goes out, I think we'll be on the Friday, because you start on the 1st, right? That's when the first will be going out. So we'll be on the 5th. So your 5th one would have come out, probably when this episode comes out. So people can go onto your account, and the first 5 will be there, and you've got another month of it to go.
Yeah, the trouble is that where I've scripted it, you can tell I'm reading a script, and I'm very monotonous. So I'm really worried that it's just gonna not engage people the way that I want it to. But I'm hoping that the topic will at least engage people, because
I'm sure.
I've looked at major and minor characters as well, so ones that just have passing references in really old codex, or I've looked at Necromunda, and I've looked at Blood Bowl, and I've looked at AOS and Old World and 40k, and I've looked at the literature as well. So I've got 2 reels on the women of Gaunt's Ghosts, for example. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
I think it'll be one of those things. It's like anything, because you did it, you'll have noticed, and anything that didn't go as you expected it to, you'll notice it. But anything lore based from Warhammer. So, because I don't think we've said this, the reels are we're literally women in Warhammer, right? You're going through a month of different women in Warhammer. People will lap it up. People love lore, and they won't notice any of those flaws because you're looking for them. I do the same thing when I edit these podcasts. It's so hard not just to edit me out of them completely. Just have it Dave on his own, just talking into the wind. You just everything that you do, you notice. It's just one of those things that you're almost looking for where it goes wrong, rather than where it all goes right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's half the battle as well, and making sure that I've got the lore right. So I've had to use public sources, because as much as I would love to buy every single Warhammer book, I can't, unfortunately, because I would have to sell my house and then take out another mortgage. And my non-Warhammer playing husband might have something to say about that. So I've tried my best, basically, and I think because I've had scrutiny before, that's what's causing me to be a bit anxious about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So but yes, I shall take some Ben optimism and I can be
optimistic. I'm optimistic about everybody else. Dave knows this. I think that everybody else does the best stuff in the world, but I do the worst stuff. I will be optimistic for everybody, and your stuff's going to be incredible. And you know what? Instagram is going to love it, because you're going to hit a reel, which they love anyway, and you're going to do it every day, which means they love that as well. Instagram's just going to send it to the moon. So it's going to reach out everywhere. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I also love your content as well, Ben.
Thank you. I'm glad that somebody does. So that's why I brought Dave in, just to try and improve it. It's the only way I can keep going, right?
It's not working, is it?
It definitely is. I've got more followers than I ever had, so it's fine. It's not going down. That's the important thing.
Well, mine goes down quite frequently. It's quite funny.
I find it hilarious.
that's another thing. I've stopped looking at the numbers. Like, a lot of people are obsessed with the numbers, and I'm like, well, if they don't like it, that's fine, because I unfollow people that I don't like. So why should I take that personally? You know?
I find it really, because I'm the opposite. I never unfollow anybody. So when I see somebody unfollow me, I'm like, who's got the effort to go and find that specific account and be like, fuck that person, in particular, that person, unfollowed. I'm like, I'm just too lazy. If I see something I don't like, I'm just like, the Instagram algorithm will get it out if I don't interact with it. They'll eventually just be so far down my list that it just won't appear, so it's fine. I'm too lazy. That's the outcome.
Yeah.
Too busy, I think. Too busy is the correct terminology.
Sure, we'll say that. I've got kids and a wife, right? I've got to be busy. That's a thing.
Exactly.
They're all asleep, so I can say this. So it's fine. My wife doesn't watch this because she can't bear listening to me in real life. Never mind watching me on YouTube. So
I've got to see his face again. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, no, it's bad enough that she just see me at home. I don't blame her, to be fair. Anyway, Dave, I'm not going to take over the limelight, Dave. I'll let you go.
Speaking of going to your Eldar, what is your colour scheme for your Eldar? Out of curiosity, do you know? Because I was doing my research and stuff like that. I was like, I can't see any pictures of your Eldar. So...
That's because I'm a terrible painter. That's why I don't post pictures of it. But
don't believe her, everybody.
This is one of my Wraith Knights. Hello.
That's all right.
That's not very good for people like me who listen to you guys in the car, and I've just gesticulated at a Wraith Knight that they're not going to be able to see. So the theme of my Eldar is that they are they're originally from a planet that is a desert planet that's perpetually in twilight. So it's a desert twilight theme. Hence
nice.
Sort of khaki colour, but it's also got the really sort of dark blues and dark purples to it. So it's meant to sort of look a bit dusky.
That's cool.
Hey, you should be proud of that. Post that up.
Yeah, post it. Post it. It looks great.
Maybe one day. When I've had many espresso martinis and don't have
sort of have a panic attack where you do post it. Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly. As I said, hyperventilate into my my Women in Warhammer bag that I keep on the side for anything I do. So yeah, but no, that's the colour scheme of mine. Though actually, my codex is under the desk, otherwise I'd go and get it and try and remember the name of the craft world. There's a craft world actually that I've seen the scheme for that I really like, but I'm too lazy to repaint my 8,000 point Eldar army. Which is it's basically the matriarchal craft world, which they've introduced in the last couple of years, and it's principally Howling Banshees, which, if you see my Instagram recently, I had a Howling Banshee tattooed onto me. That's how much I've loved them. They've always been my favourite unit. So all of their aspect shrines are pretty much Howling Banshees and female seers and farseers. And I was like, I would have actually really loved to have done that army. But when I'm a millionaire, Del, I will pay someone that can actually paint me that army that I can actually play with. Because I mostly run Banshees, Fire Dragons, and Warp Spiders.
Cool.
So the fact that I have both Lycus and Jane Czar in my army, as well as the 2 female Phoenix Lords. You're seeing a theme here, aren't you? I'm just bloody obsessed with
that's it.
Just
run.
You're just obsessed with women. Yeah, okay, yeah.
But yeah, so long story short, we're talking dark blue, dark purple, and like dust colours, really.
That's awesome. It will look awesome with the other 2 as well. Iconic. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Then,
So
unfortunately, you just got to hand it back to your brother. There you go.
Well, I actually own them. That's the thing. He's borrowing it. I've told him he's borrowing it, and we've actually had to pull our parents into this as well. It's turned into a whole family thing where I've said to my mum and dad, I'm getting them back. Like, we've reverted to 2 literal children over these Wraith Knights where I'm like, I will have them back. Thank you. You are not keeping my Wraith Knights. So, yeah.
Brilliant. I think that's me. I don't
Oh,
know. You're
I'm in
eager
again.
to
I'm in
go.
again.
Oh,
It's
look at
my
it.
turn. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna bring this back in somewhat into women in Warhammer, but probably a little bit wider. As a cis white male, I don't know anything. So how I don't know anything about this. So this is fine, right? You're going to educate me.
Oh God!
Obviously, no. I've seen improvements while I've been back in the hobby. I've definitely seen improvements in the inclusivity that sits within the hobby. But what I've also seen the fact that it's not sorted. In your opinion, I'm gonna put that out there. In your opinion, what changes can the hobby make to improve that inclusivity more and really drive it home?
So this is actually quite interesting because a couple of months ago I did a piece with Black Crow Gaming, who are one of the big competitive teams in the UK. They've got like 100 members across various different places around the UK. And they put together an inclusivity charter, which myself and a few other women and people from ethnic minorities were involved in. And actually, we put it out there across the various platforms that we had. What would women in particular like to see? So I can actually talk about this, which is good. So the main thing was actually facilities for women. So when Lucy and I went to the LGT last year, the female toilets had been commandeered for men, which happens quite frequently at events.
I can imagine, yeah.
And for women who are menstruating, that is quite difficult to not have access to sanitary bins and things like that. So making sure that the facilities for women are there first and foremost. That was something that myself and Lucy flagged to the organisers, and they were very, very good about that. Then there was also the aspect of being the only woman in the room. So I've experienced that the entire time. I was actually less bothered about it as a teenager because I was a very good player. I'm not a very good player now. So being the only woman in the room makes it interesting. And I have gone to competitions where I have overheard my opponents say, I want to beat the girl. No, I'm not a girl in any way, shape or form. I am an older lady. I'm not old, but I am not a girl by any stretch of the imagination. The fact that my boobs knock over the bloody scenery every time I play is enough of an indication that I'm not a girl. But it's the fact that it's that mentality, you know, and I'm not alone in that. I had a woman who lived in Spain tell me a very similar story. I had a woman who lives in Denmark tell me a very similar story. It's a universal problem that there's a underlying misogyny with some people in our hobby, that they cannot be beaten by the girl, and when the girl does beat them, their friends then take the piss out of them for it, and it's unnecessary, and it tends to happen with younger blokes rather than older blokes. So there's don't be the only girl in the room, and that then stops women being the only girl in the room, because we do talk is the reality of the situation, and we then not boycott but avoid certain events, you know. Then another thing was also inclusive language. So I've gone to events, again, where I've been the only woman in the room, and the organizer has called attention by saying, gents. I'm not a gent. Like, I've never been a gent. You know, I'm not a lady with the amount of swearing I do either, but I'm not a gent, you know, and that is quite polarizing, particularly for my trans friends. Say that they struggle with that the most, because it's almost a microaggression, an unintentional microaggression against their self-identity. So there's that element to it. And then there's also the painting of stuff in what's considered girly colours. So not sticking to canonically law-based factions or armies. So as I said, my Eldar are a homebrew. I know other women who have homebrew Space Marines, for example, but it seems to be Space Marines are more of a contentious point. Or,
don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Or, for example, when Female Custodes came out. So I did a silly reel about that. Whereas, like, I'm so glad that the Warhammer community took the Female Custodes news really, really well. And it just, like, pans to Reddit and forums and an actual article on The Guardian about the inequality outcry from certain people in our community about the introduction of female custodians. And people don't realise this, guys, but Games Workshop make up the law as they like. Did you know this?
It's almost like they make up law to sell models. Whoa.
Yeah, crazy. I know. And to try and introduce some form of equality into this. I mean, Lucy found a poster from 1984 which had, was it 1984 or 1989? I can't remember. It had 2 female Space Marines on it. So even back in the 80s, Games Workshop were talking about female Space Marines.
OG Rogue Trader that had female Space Marines. They were a thing from like day dot.
Yeah. And when I got really excited about Lycus and posted about it, someone made a comment to me about her being the first female Phoenix Lord. I was like, you know, Jane Czar's been around since the late 80s, don't you? Like, she was one of the first female characters that was in, because the original factions were Space Marines, Eldar, and God, was it Orcs or Nids? I can't remember. One of them.
I think it was Orcs. I think Orcs were one of the... I think Orcs were there.
Yeah. So you're like, no, this isn't the first Phoenix Lord by any stretch, female Phoenix Lord by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, like girly pop colours should be embraced, and men should feel that they can paint in their own homebrew and girly pop colours if they want. And I'm glad that there's been this huge sort of thing across social media of pink and purple and pastel.
I was about to say that there seems to be this real thing about girly. I know that Luna, who listens to the podcast and stuff like that, she's got a competition at the moment, which will be finished by the time this comes out. But she's doing a girly pop one.
In 3 days. Yeah. If I could have painted with my neck being the way it would have been, I wanted to take part. But anyway, sorry. Carry on, Ben.
But it's. No, I meant to take part in that, and then I just never found a model. I wanted it to be the right model. But yeah, there just seems to be this real resurgence, not resurgence, because it's not a resurgence, but like this real drive of like girly pop, as it's being called, like loads of pink stuff. Who paints the... Is it B? Did she do the pink Farsight? Somebody did a pink Farsight.
Yeah, and then...
It might have been Chloe or something like that, but...
I think B might have been the pink Farsight, but you've also got people like Bubblegum Minis, who her Dark Angels are a pastel pink, and that obviously draws a lot of comments. But yeah,
they look fantastic. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I don't understand people's thing of like, you can paint your bits of plastic whatever colour you want. It doesn't like.
Yep.
Every single time this stuff comes round, maybe it's because it's driven into me. I come from I've got 2 sisters and a mum. Obviously I've got a mum. But I grew up with like 3 strong women in the house, and now I've got 3 strong women in the house. Like it's just a thing that maybe is driven into me. But when stuff comes up to do with, be it gender, the colour that you want to paint a model, what you want to call yourself, I'm just kind of there like, does it have any effect on my life whatsoever?
Yeah, no is the answer.
So why should I have an opinion on it or care in the slightest? The only reason I care is because other people negatively care, and at that point I'm like, you're wrong. Stop being negative. Like that's the only reason I'm caring now is because I want you to stop caring. Like that's. So I can't. Yeah, it's just strange. Like what does it matter? I could paint my stuff. I could literally spray it grey and just be like, my army it's grey plastic, but I've sprayed it grey, so it's technically painted. What does it matter? Like, yeah. What does it matter if a model's pink? What does it matter if it's bright orange? It's plastic. It's a hobby. Who cares? Like, get on with it.
Exactly, and that's all it ever comes back down to, is it's a hobby, and there's no need for that sort of behaviour. So, long-winded answer to your question: female spaces, inclusive language, more female presence, and part of that comes from trying to get people out of the mindset that they want to beat the women, or being hyper competitive and then mansplaining to them about what's going on, even though the women do know. And then acceptance of the fact that anyone can paint their grey plastic in whatever colours they want. So that's the rambling answer for that. So,
no, it's really good. It's really, really good. My ADHD brain just completely... It thought of something and it completely lost it.
Yeah. Do you want me to go through the shopping list? That was the Instagram question, because I really lent into that, and I really want to talk about it.
I love the commitment.
You guys might have to explain the context, because I can't think of the context right now, other than trying to remember what I was going to buy with the £10.
It's Stibio. This is Stibio, right? This is Stibio through and through. So he does this on every single post, and I cherry pick when I do it. This is just Stibio being funny. I save it. Basically, he posts it every single time, and I save it for special guests. You've actually gone out and done research. So the question that Stevie throws out every single time, everybody, is: if you were to go to Home Bargains, what are you going to spend? It's like a tenner. What are you going to spend £10 on?
Yeah, and I went to Home Bargains last night, and I did my research, because I'm autistic. And if someone asks me a question, I'm going to answer that question. So I went and did my research. Now, I'm just over £10 with the things that I'd buy from Home Bargains, I'm not going to lie. But the first one, 85p bottle of Dr. Pepper, because that's going to keep me going whilst I hobby. Then I found a really cool plastic cup that's got like a snack holder on the top. That was $1.99. I was like, that's going in my basket, because I can put little tortilla chips in that and have my Dr. Pepper and pour that in. And then a bag of tortilla chips was something like 99p from there. So we're looking at about £4 there. Then I really lent into this. They do a cardboard cupcake stand and like rubber washing up gloves. And I thought, when I'm spraying my models, that will make sure that if I put my models on the built cupcake stand, that I can get all the way around them and don't have a misfit. Yeah, see, I've got some pointers. Yeah. And then I posted the sister of this, but they had a colouring dinosaur series. Now, I posted the pillow, which someone suggested on Instagram last night, that I could have used for lumbar support. But what I actually liked was the backpack, which was $3.99, that you could colour in, and then you can transport your freshly primed minis around with your little travel cup with your tortilla chips in. And that's what I would spend my £10 on at Home Bargains.
Okay. There you go, Stippy.
You're telling me you can never ask that question again, because I've bossed that. So.
You've bossed it. You answered that better than anybody. He will ask it again, because that's what he does. Stibio has probably spent the most time on this podcast, on my podcast that I've run, than anybody else. Me and him chat for many, many hours. He will be coming back again in the future. He likes to mess me about quite a lot.
We all have someone like that. We all have someone like that in our circles, though. So
I'm quite thankful to Stibio, because he's easy. He's a Scouser, so he's quite easy to placate. So it's fine. If I gave him a colouring black backpack, he'd be away for days. He loves that sort of stuff. So.
Or the instructions of how to get to one of the 98 billion Gregs in that area that they've got. So
I think he is a fan of Greg's. Yeah, I think he is a fan. So
that's what I love about going north. There's Greg's everywhere. It just makes my life. There's 3 in Reading, but 98 billion in Newcastle, for example. So every time I'm in Newcastle, I try and treat myself to a different Greg's. That's my travel itinerary.
If you find yourself in the sort of Derby, Nottingham area, because this is where I come from, there's a place called Birds, a shop called Birds. It's amazing, and they do like a caramel custard donut. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely better than the Greg's one. Absolutely incredible. So if you find yourself in that sort of East Midlands area, go find a Birds shop. It's like a bakery, so they do really nice bread. They do Hazlet. for those who haven't had it, my wife hates it. I love it. It's like a pork meatloaf. It tastes incredible. Everybody hates the smell of it. It tastes incredible. And yeah, these donuts. Yeah. So if you're in the East Midlands, that's where to go.
Birds. Okay. I shall add that onto my...
Birds, yeah. You might find one in Nottingham. Are they going to be in Nottingham? So if you go to Warhammer World, you go into Nottingham, there might be one in Nottingham. I can't remember. If not, make the short trip over to like Derby way. There's definitely some around Derby.
It's only 45 minutes west. Just like a little detour.
It's just one road. Thing is, I used to live in the middle. Go on then.
I was going to say, I'm not kidding you. I will detour for a donut. I am that sort of woman that will detour for a donut. So I'm actually Googling if there's a Birds in Nottingham now. Really Birds good. Bakery, Listergate, Nottingham. There is one in Nottingham. Like a red sign, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, there's one in Nottingham.
Don't you have to go to Derby? Derby to Nottingham is just one road as well. It's Brian Clough Way. Just say I used to live just off that A45, I think it is. That was a massive tangent. Went to Gregson's.
I was going to say, do you want to give everyone your home address whilst you're going for it, Ben?
I don't live there, and my family don't live there anymore, so it's fine. If you want to go back there, you're more than welcome. I literally grew up in the countryside.
Poor random person, so I get loads of people coming to his door.
I would like to meet Ben from the podcast, please.
So to put it into context, the place that I grew up, they had a primary school. The entire primary school was 3 classrooms, 60 kids. So reception year 1, year 2 were all in one class. That's how big the place that I grew up was. So you can go there, but you'll find nothing because it's literally in the middle of nowhere and surrounded by fields. So good luck.
That sounds like where I live at the moment. It's quite rural. So yes,
it's nice. I miss it now. I live in Bristol, where I'm on the massive outskirts. It's a solid like 45 minutes for me to get into the centre of Bristol.
Yeah.
And yet it's ridiculous.
You still live in the sticks when I popped up. It's like in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it isn't. So I live in a suburb of Bristol, and so there's like, for me, this is like the most insane. But to be fair, I did live in Glasgow for a little bit. That was insane. But yeah, for me, this is crazy. Like the fact that I own a house here is just it's always busy. There's cars everywhere. I can't deal with it. I'm a country boy. Like, if I need to get less than 3 buses to get to a shop, that's not right. That's not cricket. Like we should be getting multiple buses to get to one place, right? That should be the only way.
If you're trying to get to Birds, then I think from Bristol you'll need multiple buses. Don't think there's a singular bus that will take you to Birds from Bristol.
You might be able to get a train. That might be.
We weren't talking about trains. We were talking about buses.
This is true. No, you're right. I mean, it was where I grew up. It was like 30 minutes from Nottingham, about 35 minutes from Derby, like almost slap bang in the middle. No joke. I had to go in the wrong direction on a bus if I wanted to go to Derby. Like I had to literally go the opposite direction on a bus to get a different bus that went the right way. It was insane. And the bus only ran twice a day.
What?
Yeah.
Did they forget like the hamster and the wheel or something? They've got
to charge up. I mean, one. I'm old, right? I'm old, so buses weren't the same back in the day, back when I was a kid. But yeah, it was literally it was tiny little village. How did we get to this point? How did we get to this point? That's quite a tangent. And I've still not remembered what my ADHD brain told me to say, then forget. So we can move on from that because my brain will probably never think about it again. I think that might be all my questions.
I think I'm done. I think it's been awesome chatting. Very random stuff.
Sorry. Before I forget, and yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm sorry. I'm the problem. It's me.
That also went through my brain just then. So
yeah, and the problem is, Dave. I'm really, really sorry. The problem is the fact that literally yesterday, she got engaged. Right, Taylor Swift got engaged as we're recording. So then my brain.
Sabrina, who's Me Paints Minis, and Millie, who's Millie Paints. They're both massive Swifties. So I texted Millie last night and I said, how much champagne did you open? And she was like, Sabrina and I might have fangirled quite a lot over Taylor Swift's engagement. That's probably too much, and she'll kill me if she listens to this and me divulging that. But
That's fine. No, nobody gets this far through the podcast. Then don't worry about it.
I do when I'm driving around.
Yeah, but you're not listening. You're driving. It's fine. They won't be listening. If they're driving around, they won't be listening to it. You're okay. You're okay. You can say whatever you want about whoever you want at this point. They're not going to hear it. You're all good. Right. Before I forget, and so we don't do it rushed at the end. Please, can you do a shout out for your various different places that people can find you?
Okay, so on Instagram you can find me at EldarExarch M. It's EldarExarch, but it's EldarExarch M in the title, and it's a picture of my face. And then you can also find me at Sisters of Eldar, which is the account that I run with my friend Lucy. She's on a hiatus at the moment, so that doesn't have as much activity as normal. I'm mostly posting on EldarExarch. I do have a Twitch, which is also EldarExarch, but again, where I've been ill, I've not been doing anything on there. And then Sisters of Eldar has a Discord, which also has, if any of your listeners are female, it's got a women's only area. So anyone that self-identifies as female, you can also go in there, and we have confidential chats in there and just talk girly stuff, to be honest, in those areas. And then I'm normally like dotted around the country at various events and stuff like that. So just have a look on my Instagram. And I like saying hello, sort of reverse autistic in that respect. I quite like meeting people, and I will always chat to anyone. So yeah, or Cryptic Cabin is my local. Ben's at the Bristol one. I'm at the Bracknell one. So, yeah.
I'm
Shout
at the
out
better
to them
one,
as well.
right? So yeah.
No, you're not. I'm at the OG, and it's got an upstairs. So
the Bracknell
I'm
one
just
does
stuck
look
in the
pretty
middle.
insane. Yeah, you are quite stuck in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, I'll put all the links in the description, stuff like that. I highly recommend everyone just goes and follows everything that you've got. I'm going to gush a little bit. I absolutely love what you do in terms of the stuff you do on Instagram, the Women in Warhammer stuff. Your content in general is absolutely fantastic. I think you've made a huge difference coming in. Like the way that you put across and push for the minorities, particularly women in Warhammer, but obviously going beyond that into other minorities, I think it's absolutely incredible. You do amazing things in the community. You've been a real benefit to this community coming in. And I'm so glad that you and Lucy did, because it's given me a lot of joy, and I know that it's given a lot of other people, a lot of women in the hobby, a really safe space to come out and really enjoy the hobby a lot more. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Like, I do listen to you guys, well, obviously every week when this comes out, driving around in the car. So when Ben asked me if I'd be on, I think I responded with, really? Are you absolutely sure? But yes, thank you for all of that nice stuff. I'm going to go and hide behind a pillow now. That
literally just happened.
Yeah. When people are nice about you and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to react.
Yeah.
But thank you. That was very sweet of you. I did appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Dave, next episode, what are we going to be talking about? Do you remember?
Right. I believe so. Pressure. Right. I think it's.
I love doing this.
Talk about Old World. Why is it turned to AKA a flop?
Yeah, I think my quote for it is, why is Old World fallen on its face? Because it really has.
Face, flop, same thing, potato.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
Yeah. Yeah, after its
it'd be
kick-off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long's it been out now? About 2 years? At least?
Something like that.
No.
Yeah, and it got a huge, like the first little push for it was absolutely massive. Like every influencer under the sun was posting about it, to where it is now.
And so that'll be our next chat, because me and Ben are from the old Warhammer Fantasy Battle style. We're quite passionate about it, and we just want to see your thoughts and opinions, and prove us wrong in a polite manner. No negative comments, but give us your thoughts on your opinions and why maybe it's just your area that you've got a big base there, or lack of area, or whatever. But no, all thoughts are welcome, and be awesome if you can change our minds. We may do something for the future of the podcast. Me and Ben could do something, have like a little grudge match between us two or something in Old World.
I've got my 2 Sentinels now. It's fine, right? I'm gonna put in everything.
I know, right? I just need to work out. I probably won't do dwarfs. If I did it again, I'll probably do wood elves, dirty elves, as they say, pointies, bows, and all that. But yeah, so that's our next chat for the next episode, whatever episode we're on now.
It'll be 17. I don't know. Whatever number it'll be.
17, I think.
Yeah.
So you can catch me at Dave Hobby _ all that jazz. If you're on YouTube, it's here or there.
It's here. It's up, Dave. That's where I put it.
I don't watch myself, so I don't know.
It's up here.
So somewhere in the box, there's my name, and and we're on Discord. So where can I find you, Ben?
First Rank Wargaming. It's got underscores in there. You can obviously get me on Instagram. You can get me on the Discord. You can get me on Twitch because I'm streaming now. Like I say, I do it every Sunday and every other Wednesday. Come and hit me up on Twitch. And obviously you're on the YouTube. If you listen to it on the YouTube, it's First Rank Wargaming on YouTube as well. It's First Rank Wargaming everywhere. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's it. You've done the outro, Dave. This is strange. I always do the outro. Now
I know, right? Just flip the script. Let's go.
I know. Now I'm confused. I tried to confuse you by asking what's going on in 2 weeks, and now you've completely flipped on me. Anyway, thank you for joining, It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much.
As always, Dave.
Absolute pleasure.
No, honestly, thank you both so much for having me. It's been a privilege, and I will make sure to not listen to my own episode whilst I'm driving around in the car because I may die of embarrassment. So, yeah.
I do. I have to edit these. Like, let's just take a minute and feel sorry for Ben.
I just rock up with my coffee and
Dave's the talent.
That's it. See you later.
I have to listen to my voice every other week when I edit these. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us as always.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.
And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.